Styrene Junkies. It's Half-Ass Model Garage with number 3. One didn't record, one didn't get audio. I don't know what's going on with OBS. Alright, guys. Let's try this again. So, this is an update for the group build hosted by Dave over at Woody's Scale Model Garage. This is the Rock and Roll on Wheels group build. I chose the Munsters coach from the song by Rob Zombie, Dracula. It was pretty cool. He used this in the video. A band that I used to really love listening to back in the day. So, we'll start again. And first thing again, I'm just going to start with the body. We'll bring it down to the bench here. And hopefully everybody can kind of see this card at the same time. So, this is shot in Alclad Glossy Black. This is not clear coated, not wet sanded, nothing right now. This is just shot. I use the Black Widow number 3 millimeter nozzle. I do have the pistol grip one too, but I've been really liking the smaller one. Sorry, I'm gonna lose all my words this time, guys. So this has been through the Easy Bake Oven for 5 hours at 113 degrees. So she's all nice and hard. I'm gonna give it a couple more days too before I touch it. There is some dust particles here and there, so I'm gonna have to wet sand those out and get it ready, because then I gotta do the trim that's on here, the roll. It's like a roll pan in the fenders, which were also gold plated or brass looking. Everybody's got their terminology of what color it should have been. But anyway, so that's that, guys. I think it came out okay for I think this is like my third, probably my third time doing a car with the airbrush. I've also come back. I've been always a can guy too, so I'm still learning on that curve too. So another reason why this kit isn't done yet is because I keep changing stuff. I use a lot of photos for reference, and I'm finding things from the kit that aren't in it that are in the photos. So one was right off the bat was with the chassis. The car has a drop axle, so I robbed parts from a couple of kits and made a drop axle. I had to hand fabricate the springs to get the right distance and the right thickness that I wanted, because it was just a bulky little round thing like that, and I didn't like that. I still have to make the trailing bars and the steering linkage. Those are also not in the kit, but it's much easier to make. I might even design them real quick and 3D print them just to be quicker. I don't know. It depends on how fast things go. So, again, things that were different. In the motor, the carburetors here are just basically, the carburetors go right straight down onto the block. Well, they didn't do that. They went into an intake type of manifold. In the photographs, it's really hard to figure out what the manifold looked like. A lot of it just looks like a square block, and I think that's probably why they just did that way, because there really isn't any kind of look to it. Now the newer ones, the motors in some of the newer renditions of the coach, or as the years gone along, because everybody knows a motor don't last, so they changed some things. The intake manifold actually changed, and it was offset, and it was actually tunneled for each carburetor instead of looking like a straight line. So again, on that note, sorry about the extra details. Some of the photos show a fuel rail going right down between the carburetors. Some just show a cover that said Cobra on it. I'm shooting for the earlier edition, and I'm going to do the fuel rail going down the middle of it, supplying to each carburetor. The other thing that wasn't in the kit was a distributor, so I will be adding a distributor to this. The third thing I didn't like about the engine was the fact that the generator was just a round glob of plastic. No detail, no nothing. So what did I do? Back to kits. I robbed some parts, and I'm still probably not gonna get a good shot of this. That might be the best I get, guys. That's better than some of the other ones. So I grooved out the pulley. I added a part to the front to give it the fan blade look and the bracket to go around it. The one thing that definitely in the photos that really, AMT just basically has it attached to the belt and that's it. Well, it has to attach to the motor somehow, and I looked and looked, and I did finally find they basically had a bar coming off that bracket that I kind of made and then going down to the block somewhere. So my guess is there was probably another bracket that came off, and or even just welded to a bracket down there, and then the adjustment point was up top and had the swing like a normal generator would have. They didn't have, generators didn't have to be really tight on the belt, because they weren't the way all that stuff, 6 bolts, it didn't take much to do that stuff. So anyways, moving on. So the other thing that was holding me up was paints. Was trying real hard to find something that would really make the brass parts look brass and shiny, because most of the parts are brass. And yes, there are other renditions, you'll see them chrome or whatever, but those aren't the real coaches. The real coach, there's only two guys. Whoop, two for real. They did build a third, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The car designer didn't sign off on the third one. So this, I tried polishes, I tried some other gold paints, I also tried some candy gold, and everything failed. Most everything came out flat, and then I don't know, I mean, back here you can kind of see the reflection a little better as far as being reflective, but up here, well, I guess that's a not too bad shot. So and yes, the radiator in the photo I have, and it's brass. How they did that, my guess is they painted it. It's in the museum, so they could have just done it. I don't have any really good shots of the movie shots of it, and then again, the car's in black and white in the movie shots, so a lot of the stuff, like the curtains, are actually gold. But when you see those shots in the film, it looks like it's oh crap, not gold, but off white. Sorry, I had a color in my head and then I forgot it. Now the other thing too that I'm going to end up 3D printing is the first car that he built. The radiator cap was a skull, and then they changed it to a cross, and they also had another one which looks like one from the actual manufacturer of a vehicle at that time. I'm not a expert on all cars. I know quite a bit about cars, real cars, not so much model kits. And I mean, it almost looks like a Duesenberg or a I can't think of the other cat. Alfa, not an Alfa Romeo. Anyways, one of those higher end cars back in the day that had really nice artifacts on their radiators or hoods. So I also made sure that I drilled out all the flutes and blackwashed them. I also, on the exhaust, I was not happy with the plastic in between all the pipes. So I made sure that I cut them all out and sanded them all. Also drilled those out too. I did not like the way that was all lumped up and looking. It took a lot. They're not perfect, but I think they're a lot better than uh, what was in the kit. You know, just adding a little extra to it. Um, it's far from perfect. It's just mediocre. But I will be taking it to shows. I am a little bit proud of what I've done. I also bought a couple of the files for the characters. Um, Elvira, I got her, and I got Grandpa. Uh, and then I have Herman, and he's got his big old like laugh expression. I'm not gonna, probably not gonna be able to get it, kind of see it. So I'm kind of hoping that that expression will come out when I paint it, and you know, like he's seeing the car for the first time type thing. Um, I've been working on these. People know that you get the pimples, but I like Jason's terminology from Blue Ox, the chicken skin. So I've been working on that. I use so you can kind of see in the back of Grandpa here, you can see all the little lumps. Well, that's filled with clear resin, and then I got to sand it down. I use this stuff here, guys. It's really good stuff, and it's easy sandable, and you can use it to fill in gaps and stuff if you're doing models. 3 bottles of this on Amazon, and it comes with a little silicone cup and a little silicone applicator. I mean, it was $7.99, and that stuff should last a while. I mean, unless you're doing like Kim's Customs or I can't think of the other guy. There's a couple of really good builders, and it's sad that I can't remember YouTube channels or names, but they're always filling gaps. So I mean, they would go through that stuff quicker. But man, you know, instead of using the styrene goop or whatever everybody calls it. So basically, moving on. So you can kind of see Herman's. I've already done almost all the filling, and it's all done. There's just a couple little pieces. Same way with her. That's why she's primed, because I wanted to see and make sure that the process was working. Because to sit there with a toothpick and dab in each little hole, and you're trying to keep it as minimal as possible, because that's the less work you have to do. But I'm telling you guys, it really helps. So if you're into 3D printing, or you're into 3D printed parts, it's something to look at to, you know, if you have a problem, especially even resin casted stuff that comes to you. This stuff will work great for those pinholes, bubble holes, you know, that you can't help but getting, especially if you're doing casting. Casting is very, very hard to do. I've tried it, and it's just way too much work as far as I'm concerned. So anyways, we'll get off of that subject too. I'll be sitting here blabbering all night, and I want to keep this as short as possible. This is my 3rd time doing this. Oh yeah, too, there was no brake booster on the firewall. Actually, the firewall has nothing on it, totally smooth. I did catch the one picture that has a brake booster on it, so I did find something that was very, very close to the picture part. I cut off all the extra stuff that didn't belong to it, I drilled holes through it, so I will be running brake lines, and I'm actually going to be using um, 15,000 solder. I used to work in electronics. I have a huge roll. If I needed any more, I could just go to my old company and say, hey, I need a couple rolls of solder. But anyways, let's go back to the main window, guys. So with that, I'm hoping this video is done and I don't have to do this again, because I think I'm forgetting things. Like I said, I'm trying to finish this for, I believe it's June 7th for the Southland show over on the other side, and then Panscom, and then hopefully I'm going to Acme. Fingers crossed. I lost last year due to the hurricane when the tree came down and went through my roof. But hopefully this year. And I need to get this done so that I can get on to the Acme build, which is pretty close to done since it's been a 3-year build. And it still falls underneath their theme line, which I think is Mopar. Because I was doing the 1971 Plymouth GTX. So hopefully I'll get that finished. Again, it's because I opened up cans of worms every corner I took. So with that, guys, I am going to say thank you. God bless. Like, subscribe. I never usually say that because I'm not about analytics. I'm just about showing my stuff. If people like to see something in particular, drop a comment. And, you know, leave a comment. Tell me I'm a dipshit for doing this stuff. I don't know. Anything. Appreciate it. I do read them. And most of the time I try to comment. I'll at least give you a heart. If you comment, I do give you a heart.